Yo, yo. Oh, Jesus. Hello. Yo, yo. God, bro. Y'all ever drink something and it went down the wrong pipe? I was trying to say something. Oh, goodness. It's not a good way to start the night. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. This might be the last Sunday live here. Woo. Oh, my goodness. I took a drink of water. That thing went down the wrong pipe. Oh, my goodness. Give me 1 second, y'all. Alright, there we go. Woo! Let's get it, baby. Sunday fun day. Started off on a rough start here with this water, man. This water tried to take me out. How's everybody doing tonight, man? Everybody having a good weekend? Oh, wow. I didn't notice. I hit 5K on YouTube. Yeah, that water almost took me out. Alright, man. Let's get it. What's up, man? What's up, King Caesar? How you doing, man? What's up, Daryl? What's up, Matthew? What's up, Sort of Maybe? How you doing, brother? Sort of Maybe. Did you ever get what I sent you? Michael, what's up, man? Rhea, Jaden, what's good? What's good? What's good? How's everybody doing on this fine Sunday evening? What's good, Matthew? Steadfast. Nice to see y'all. Nice to see y'all. What's up, Willie? Travis, what's good, man? Jab them, John Paul, what's up, brother? Ray, what's up, man? Let's get it, man. Sunday fun day. Y'all know the vibes, man. By the way, we are coming up on a 3-year anniversary of these Sunday lives. I've been doing them every single Sunday for the past 3 years. I've missed a handful, but bottom line is, I'm here for y'all as long as y'all are here for me, alright? Sort of Maybe. I'm going to double check on that, alright? What's good, Fernando? What's good, Chris, Antonio, Xavier, Devontae? What's up, man? Let's get into it tonight, man. As always, let's start it off with the economic data for the week ahead. And then we'll get into these charts here, okay? Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. Let me make this a little bit bigger for you guys. That way we can rock out. Are y'all having trouble seeing this still? I'm curious. Y'all having trouble seeing this still? I thought I fixed it last time, but I could be wrong. Are you guys having trouble seeing this? Someone, Anthony, shoot me a text again, if you can. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit, if that makes it better. Does that make it better at all? Still blurry? Wow, man, I don't know why. Maybe try it like that. It should be a little bit better now. Still blurry. Yes, tonight I will be talking about the Patreon, about what it entails moving forward. That's better? Okay, cool. We'll rock out like this then. Cool. So, we are going into the end of the month here. Monday is August 28th. This is what we're about to get into right now. So, first things first. Monday, nothing really to worry about here. We're pretty much coast is clear in terms of economic data. Awesome. Zoom made it way better. Let me see. Full screen maybe. Okay, cool. Alright, cool. That's better. Awesome. Zoomed in, clear. Perfect. This is good, or you need to zoom in a little bit more. See if that helps. Probably go a little bit more than that, honestly. That's probably even better for you guys. Yeah, that's probably a lot better. Let me know if that's good for y'all. We don't really need to see anything down there. We just need this right here. That's all we need. That's good? Perfect. Awesome. Crispy now. Perfect. Make sure you guys turn up the resolution as well. I think you can watch it in 1080p. Yes, 1080p HD. Do not forget that. Awesome. Perfect. Yeah. So, Monday, we are good to go. Nothing really to worry about in terms of economic data. We're good there. Tuesday is when it begins. We have consumer confidence, and we have JOLTS, which is at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. In terms of market influence, I would rate these probably like a solid 6 out of 7, 6, 7, 7 out of 10, right around there. If they're both on the same page, we'll definitely see some volatility, but definitely something to pay attention to. The big one of this week is going to be GDP and International Trading Goods Service, right? These are going to be the big ones, specifically GDP. GDP does have a pretty decent influence in terms of the market. I would give this a solid 7, 8 out of 10. Then as always, we have jobless claims, PIO, PMI. That is on Thursday, August 31st. These are important as well, right here. And then of course, we also have employment situation, PMI, and ISM on Friday. So the big days are going to be Wednesday and Friday, right? Wednesday being GDP, Friday being PMI, ISM, and employment situation. So we got a lot of economic data this week to, maneuver around, right? So what I would encourage you guys, just, focus on cash flow trades. What that means is, focus on day trading rather than trying to swing overnight, especially in the current market conditions. I mean, it's been ass. Like, I'm going to show you guys something in a second that just doesn't make sense, right? So I would encourage you guys pretty much to stay cash throughout the week, focus on those cash flow trades, day trading, keep it moving. Narcisco. Yes, I will talk about the Patreon news here in a moment. I'm also going to post an update in the Patreon as soon as I hop off the live, so that'll be posted by 10:30, right around there. Yeah, we can get to it, man. Let's get it. So, this is what we got for the week ahead. Tuesday, consumer confidence, JOLTS, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wednesday, GDP, international trading goods, August 30th, Wednesday. Thursday, we have jobless claims, PIO, and PMI, which are at 8:30 and 9:45 a.m. Friday, employment situation, PMI, ISM. Wednesday, Friday are the biggest days. Make sure you guys set alarms so you guys can get notified for the ones that are after market open, like ISM, like PMI, like consumer confidence, and like JOLTS. All right, let's get into the charts here, guys. What I wanted to talk about that just didn't make sense in terms of swinging in the overall market is, let's look at this right here, right? Let's look at this chart real quick. So if we're looking at this chart, right, in terms of QQQ, let's just take a quick look at it, right? First things first, we notice we have, a pretty decent head and shoulders here. For those who know, a head and shoulders is a bearish pattern, right? So first things first, we've identified a bearish pattern. Number 2 is it rejected perfectly off that left shoulder supply. 3 is we closed a very weak bearish engulfing, right? We did. This is very bearish, right? We have a head and shoulders. We have a huge Mariposa candle. For those who don't know what that is, that's the strongest type of candlestick there is. So we have a strong Mariposa. We have an increase in volume here. And we have a bearish engulfing, right? Based off this chart, what would you say? I would say we went lower, right? Based off this close, based off the weakness we've seen throughout that day. If anybody remembers, on this day here, I think it was Thursday, every single green candle preceded 4 or 5 red candles. It was an absolute bloodbath, right? Based off that weakness, I figured we were going to go lower, right? And I'm sure everybody did. But did we? Absolutely not, right? Next day, in fact, we gapped up and had a trending day to the upside, right? We had Jackson Hole, which in the morning, everybody was expecting some massive move from Jackson Hole, and my mentees know this. On Friday, I specifically said, just expectations are too high, right? We've seen a nice little move up, then we've seen a nice little move down, immediately pick back up, and then we've seen a nice trend for the rest of the day. It just doesn't make sense, right? It just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. You literally cannot swing in this market. It's just not a thing right now, especially this area. I mean, look at this area. This was a period of time where we would literally have a green day, followed by a red day, followed by a green day, red day, green day, red day, green day, red day, green day, red day. That is impossible to trade. You know what I mean? Like, cash flow trades throughout that period were king. If you tried to swing anything, you got clapped 99% of the time. But let's get into the charts for the week ahead. As always, we'll start with the futures. We'll start with NQ here. I need to clean up this chart a little bit, so I'm going to delete some levels here. And another thing is, as always, man, I just want to say thank you for you guys taking time out of your Sunday to come kick it. I'll make sure you guys get the most value as possible from this live. If you have any questions throughout this live, feel free to ask it. I see every single message that comes through the chat here, so I'll be more than happy to answer. And yeah, let's have a good night tonight, man. Weekly chart. Give me 1 second, y'all. Alright, so weekly chart, right? I mean, if you're looking at the macro scheme of things, right, we're still in an overall uptrend, right? We still have our higher lows. We still have our higher highs here, right? So on the grand scheme of things, and that's really what I wanted to focus on tonight, was just a macro picture, right? We're still very much so in an uptrend, but as we go lower on these time frames, the blinds start to get, the lines start to get blurred, right? And this is some free game for you guys. When looking at these charts, right, they're like a book. They tell a story, right? Each and every one of these candlesticks, these formations, these time frames, these bars, they all tell a story. You just got to know how to read them, right? And a big part of technical analysis is multi-time frame analysis, looking at multiple time frames and finding the conflict and confluence. So if we're looking through these time frames, starting from the top down, we're looking at the monthly, we can see we're in a macro uptrend, right? If we look at the weekly, I mean, technically, we're still in an uptrend, right? We are. We have a higher low here above this previous structure, right? If we were to break this down, we have a low, higher low, higher low, higher low, followed by higher highs through and through. And on a higher time frame like the weekly, I mean, this looks just like a pullback for maybe a move higher, right? My opinion is we want to come down and test this structure. That's my opinion, right? And I'm going to say my opinion because, honestly, it holds no weight, right? I'm just saying a what-if scenario. So my opinion is maybe we want to come down and test this structure, which is where I would look to swing from. This is going to be 14,000. This would just be a classic macro break and retest, right? You have a previous resistance that was broken, turns support. And I'll correlate these levels on QQQ for you guys, but it just doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense. Last week, the close was pretty bearish, right? You got a pretty big top wick here after trying to break the previous week's high. So technically, this is a bearish little formation here, right? You have a nice little sell-off. We attempted to break the previous week's high, failed it, closed pretty weak. I would say we see a little bit lower before higher, but ultimately, you know, we'll just have to wait and see here. The daily chart, we're just holding, you know, a key demand here with this 14,600. So, you know, me personally, I'm actually interested in seeing what happens. You know, I very am interested. You know, but the bounce area that I'm watching, straight up no-brainer, will take without hesitation, is going to be this 14,200, 14,100 area. That is the area that I'm going to be watching for a bounce on NQ, even for a potential swing, right? That's what I'm going to be watching here, is a potential swing entry off this 14,200, 14,100. And that's going to be pretty much my main watch here on NQ. And then, of course, we'll go over here to QQQ and break it down as well. But this daily chart, it just doesn't really make sense right now, you know? We still have this little textbook head and shoulders here that's still intact. We have our left shoulder. We have our head. We have our right shoulder, which we rejected from last week, as you can see here. This was a major supply, this 15,500. Same exact setup we talked about last week. If you guys remember, last Sunday, this was my main watch, right? For those that attended last Sunday, this was my main watch. A reject off this 15,450, 15,500, and it played out absolutely perfect. But, as you can see, we're just back down in this previous demand. So this chart isn't really doing too much. But what I'll be watching here is pretty much similar to last week, right? Number one is a push back into this 15,000, or 15,300, 15,500 supply. So pretty much the same rejection area that we seen last week. And I'll also be watching a push down into these lows for that bounce, right? And I'll break it down a lot more in depth on QQQ. But let's just go over the futures real quick for all my futures traders. This is ES here, for those who don't know. This is the index for SPY. Similar scenario to QQQ and NQ. Overall macro trend, we are in an uptrend. Weekly chart, the lines are getting a little blurred here. Reason being is because we did in fact break the previous structure. So if we were to put in a lower high somewhere around here, we could definitely flip this trend on a weekly for a move lower. So this ES chart is a little different compared to NQ in that sense, specifically on the daily as well. Like if you look at the daily here, and we were to break this down, right? We came up, made a high here, rejected off this major previous supply. So we're not rejecting from anywhere. Context is always important when it comes to reversals. So the context is there for us to actually see a reversal. Now you're just looking for actual confirmation, which if you look at this daily chart, and remember how I just talked about multi-time frame analysis and looking for conflict and confluence, you look at the monthly, you look at the weekly, we're in a macro uptrend. But if you look at the daily here, the trend has actually flipped, right? We have our high up here, we'll just put an H, right? And then we had our low, right? We broke that low, put in a lower low, retested that previous low, put in a lower high, and here we are seeing a move lower, right? We even put in another lower high. We even put in another lower low, right? So technically on this daily chart, it has flipped, right? But on ES, my watch still remains the same, right? And this is a no-brainer, and I'm going to show you guys why. This is an absolute no-brainer, high probability, whatever you want to freaking call it, watch, right? This is absolutely beautiful. I love this so much, right? Whenever it happens, I will take it, risk on. I will hit it with a little bit of size. I like this a lot, right? But first and foremost, look at where we're currently trading. I'm going to change the color here. We had this major previous resistance, turn support, still holding, right? So technically, right now, we are in a very key demand, right? We obviously see that this is very respected. Started as resistance, held as resistance, broke, turned into support, held as support, held at support again. So right now, we're just sitting in the demand, right? And this is going to actually go into what I'm watching this week, right? So what I'm going to watch is, I'm going to watch this 43.50 break, right? So I'm going to watch a break of 43.50 for a push down into 4,300. That's a $50 move. That'll correlate to a $5 move on SPY. So we could definitely get some short scalps in there, right? So that's going to be my game plan. Go short below 43.50, but definitely look to be out by 4,300 so we can flip and take that relief bounce. Because if you look at this 4,300 area, this is pretty much the biggest support we have down into the low 4,000s, right? So this is going to play a huge part in my decision making moving forward. We have a major previous resistance. So I'm looking for the retest from resistance turn support for a bounce. That's what I'm watching for the week ahead. And that is my main watch. So my game plan is going to be look to go short below 43.50, right? That's going to be my game plan. Break. If we sweep these lows here, 43.50, I'm going to look to go short below 43.50, down into 43.20, look to take profit around that 43.20 area, and then stay patient for the 4,300 test for a relief bounce. That's what I'm going to be watching here. Similar to Meta last week, right? If everybody remembers Meta, we covered last Sunday, right? I even posted a video on my Instagram. Meta last Sunday, this is what we were watching. It's a similar setup, right? So Meta last week, we were watching a break and hold below 285, right? We were watching a break and hold below 285 to go short down into 276.50, 275. When it came down to 276.50, 275, we were going to look to flip and take a relief bounce, right? That was our whole game plan last week. And this is actually one of the best setups I traded last week, right? I personally missed the breakdown, but let's see how it played out, right? This is the same setup I gave you guys last week, right? On Friday, this was literally over 1,000% return on the way down and over a 2,000% return on the way up for 0DTEs. Just watch what happened. Literally, listen to the levels I told you guys and watch what happens, right? So we broke below 285. I told you guys it had nothing but room down into 276.50, 275, right? If you watch what happens, it's a literal blood blast straight to the target, right? This was huge. This was a huge trade. You didn't even have a single green candle the whole way down, right? I personally missed that. That is a trade I missed. I missed the 285 breakdown. What I did was waited patiently for the 276.50 test. I went long here, right? And I did take profit too quick, but it's all good. I took profit back into 280, right? That's where I took profit. So as soon as we popped back into 280, I took profit. And as you can see, this thing had a mission and had a point to prove because it flew all the way back to 285. Beautiful trade. Did anybody catch this? I'm very curious. Last week, did anybody catch this? This was absolutely huge. Huge last week. Especially on a Friday. If you just catch like 2 5-minute candles, you're up like 250, 300%. Absolutely crazy. But let's get back to these charts real quick in terms of the futures. So we went over NQ, we went over ES. Let's talk about QQQ and SPY. Right? Similar charts, as you guys know. They follow each other. QQQ tracks NQ, SPY tracks ES. So the charts are very similar. Let's just stick on these hourly charts and find out what we're trading this week. So this is my mindset, right? Now, these are more advanced setups, right? I want to make this clear before I state anything because I see a lot of new traders have this issue. If you're a new trader, right, or even an intermediate trader, you're just a new developing trader, which is okay. Everybody starts somewhere. Please do me a favor and do yourself a favor and stay away from counter trend trades, okay? Stay away from counter trend trades. I'm going to break down right now, actually, the difference between counter trend and trend trades, right? When taking a bounce and reject, there's 2 different types. Counter trend bounce and reject and a trend bounce and reject. I encourage you guys, I recommend you guys, and I honestly wish you would stay away from them, right? Because it takes a level of experience in terms of reading price action and momentum that a lot of new traders don't have. And a lot of new traders from what I've seen, including my mentees, is when they take counter trend trades, a lot of people just don't know when to cut. So they end up adding to a loser. It ends up keeps dumping and they, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a bad cycle, right? So for those who don't know, a counter trend trade is, say for example, Meta's an established downtrend. And we're watching, and say for example, I'm watching a bounce off 360, right? This is a counter trend trade because Meta is trending down, right? That is a counter trend bounce. A trend bounce is, say for example, Meta strong and it breaks above 260 and then I look for a pullback at 260. That is a trend bounce because Meta is trending up, right? And it would be vice versa for a reject, right? So a trend reject would be if Meta's trending down, we enter a reject on the way down after it pops, right? A counter trend reject would be when the stock is trending up and you try to time the top, right? That is the difference. I'm not saying don't take bounces and rejects. I'm saying stay away from counter trend bounces and rejects as a new trader, all right? That's just a little tip for you guys. But let's get into this QQQ chart here. First and foremost, we have this nice little head and shoulders. So this is going to play a part in terms of what I'm watching. I'm going to watch a push back into 366, 367 for a potential reject, right? The line in the sand, right, is this 367 level, right? So if we break and hold above 367, I'll look to flip long because this head and shoulders will no longer be valid, right? So we can look for a break and hold if we get strong above 367 for a move into 370, 372, and then that 374.50, 375 supply where I will take a no-brainer reject, right? That's what I'm watching for potential upside and a reject trade, all right? Downside, little tricky here because we are trading in a big demand as I just showed you on NQ. So my mindset here is, right, we can do 2 things, right? A little bit high risk. This is a high risk trade. What we can do is we can take a breakdown of this hourly structure, right? So if we get a strong break and hold below 270, 258, right, we can take a scalp down into 355. But I highly recommend staying patient for a break and hold below 355. Wait for a break and hold below 355. That should incite much more aggressive selling down into 350, right? So my main watch for the downside, the line in the sand is going to be 355. If we get a break and hold below 355 on QQQ, I'll be very confident going short. And that's the nature of what I'm watching this week, right? Nothing really extravagant. An A+ setup would be that 355 break and hold below, right? So let it break on the 5-minute time frame. If we have volume, it's a nice convincing break. Take the break and hold. If there's not volume, not very convincing, wait for the retest. That way you have a more established stop loss, especially if you're a new trader. So yeah, that's QQQ. Let's get into SPY. SPY is a very similar chart, pretty much identical, right? So if you look at QQQ, you look at SPY, they're literally identical, right? So I'm going to be watching pretty much the same thing, just different name, right? On SPY, the level's going to be 442, excuse me, right? That's the left shoulder. So what I'm going to be watching here is 1, I'm going to be watching for a potential reject. That is high risk, right? But my main watch is going to be a break and hold above 442. So if we get strong, we can look to go long above that for a move back into this previous structure here at 446.60, right? That's what we can do. But we can also, like I said, watch for a high risk reject here if we see some weakness. Now, the downside, very tricky, right? Because ES and SPY are trading above that major demand, 4,300, 430, 432, right? So I am watching for a high risk breakdown. That's going to be a Friday's lows. So I'm going to look to go short below Friday's lows into 433, right? That's the extent of that trade. I'm not looking for a big trade, just looking for a little scalp. My main watch on SPY is a push down to this 432, 430 area for a bounce. I will take this, no hesitation. Likely will be taking it with a little bit of size on a little further out expiration. I love this, right? I just showed you guys why on ES. Same scenario on SPY. If I was to zoom out here on the daily time frame, you would see this is a huge level, okay? Previous resistance, turn support, held as support, so we're looking for a retest to go long, right? That is what I'm watching on SPY here. Right, and that's what I'm watching on SPY. Let's go over these individual names for the week ahead. Anybody have any questions regarding QQQ and SPY? Anybody have any questions? Exactly. Bowman World. Exactly. I have a Weeble setup. Yes, I have a couple. SPY bounce. Yep, 432, 430. 432, 430. Let's get into these individual names for the week ahead. We got quite a few. The SPY bounce probably like Friday, something like that, right around there. Depends what day it is. Probably next week's, right? So the next week. Give me 1 second, you guys. I'm gonna get this ready real quick. Alright, cool. Bada bing, bada boom. Let me see. Bada bing, bada boom. There we go. Boom. Alright, cool. Alright, there we go. How do you feel about banks? We'll check them out. We'll check it out. Darius, they might be private. I'll make them unprivate for you, though. AMD. AMD is a big watch this week, and you guys can see why. This is going to be this 100 level, right? So if you look at AMD, we have a big psychological level at 100, which we are currently holding. As you can see here, this is a major previous resistance that was broken, held as support, and is currently retesting it, right? So we have a beautiful setup here on AMD. I actually like this for a potential long setup. Just look at the significance here of this 100 level. For you guys wondering what a key technical level looks like, look at this. Previous resistance, held as support, 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 resistance, support, resistance, 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 still holding as support. And this dates back to 2021. That is the definition of a key level, right? Absolutely beautiful, wonderful reactions. Everything is beautiful, right? What's good, Dabo? How you doing, brother? Right? Absolutely beautiful, right? So AMD, what I'm watching this week is a break and hold below this 99.60. So I'm going to be watching two things on AMD. Main watch is going to be a pullback into this 99.60 100 level for a failure to go lower, right? So if intraday we create a nice little base here, I'll look for a long position back into 101.70, 105. if we get weak and the market gets weak, we can look to go short below 99.60. This is an A plus setup. If AMD gets weak below 99.60, I will 100% go short on AMD, right? I'll look to go short. We have nothing but room down into 93.50 and 90. This will be an absolute beautiful setup. It's going to be a beautiful setup either way, as long as AMD moves. So we can watch that failure of 100 or below 99.60 to go short. This is my top watch for the week ahead. Absolutely love this. Love it, love it, love it. Oh shit, I appreciate that. Yeah, crazy name, man. Crazy name. Appreciate that, man. Thanks for the love, man. Thanks for the sub, brother. Nvidia, similar setup here on Nvidia. So if we were to break down this weekly chart, right? We had earnings last week, and this chart has a lot of value. So if you guys want to take some notes real quick, right now is the time to do it. If you look at this weekly chart, right, we had a previous all-time high at 480. What this is called is a failure to go higher. Nvidia attempted to break the previous all-time highs, failed, closed back below it, right? This candlestick here has a lot of value. What this is telling us is, at one point in time, buyers were really strong, but they could not hold and sellers stepped in, closing this inverted hammer. Context is so important, right? So important, right? If this candlestick was sitting right here, it wouldn't have any relevance because there's no context to it. But since this inverted hammer is at the top of a trend, it can give us insight at a potential reversal, right? So what I'm watching on Nvidia is simply one, a continuation setup, right? So I'm gonna look for a break and hold below this 450, right? If we get a clean break and hold below 450, I will go short on Nvidia down into 435 and then 416, 400. There's nothing but room to the downside. And another thing I want you guys to pay attention to real quick, and maybe this will open your eyes for further times you're looking at a chart, is look at the actual formations of the overall market in terms of the actual tickers, right? If you notice, a lot of these big names we're looking at, they all have a similar chart, right? What does Nvidia have? Beautiful head and shoulders, right? Beautiful head and shoulders. What did QQQ have? What did SPY have? What did AMD have? What did Amazon have? What did Google have? All of these big names are moving in correlates, which is normal, right? We all know that. They're all weighted in QQQ and SPY, but they're heavily correlated right now, right? So what I'm watching on Nvidia is that 450 break and hold to go short down at that low 400s, and then I'll also be watching a push, right? Check this out, y'all. I'll be watching a push back into this previous all-time resistance at 480, 485 for a reject, right? So if we happen to get strong, that's fine. We could watch a push back into 480, 485 for a reject. And of course, we'll watch that break and hold below 450 for a beautiful short setup, right? So that is what I'm watching here on Nvidia. Love it. Beautiful. Just got to stay patient. All right. Amazon. Amazon is actually a name I'm watching long this week. I didn't really see many names that look good for the longs, right? But Amazon does look good, right? Dabo. Appreciate that, brother. Thank you for taking time to come kick it, man. Appreciate that. Seesaw, what's up, man? Appreciate y'all. If you look at Amazon here, right? We have this big uptrend trend line we've been holding. That's the starting point. That's the connector. And here we are for the third touch, right? So this is our uptrend trend line support we're testing for the third touch. Now, what's most important here is same concept as Nvidia, right? We just talked about Nvidia failure to go higher. Well, if we look at Amazon here, this is a failure to go lower, right? So let's zoom into this chart real quick. If you notice here on Amazon, we've been in a little downtrend here on the daily, right? And let's pay attention real quick. Look at this area on Amazon. Look at this area on Amazon, right? You look at the first, we had, this is almost identical chart, right? We had our high, little pullback, move lower, pop, pull back, and then an absolute rip to the upside, right? Well, look at what we're doing now. We have our high, pull back, pop, just like we've seen over here. Then we have a push down, just like we've seen here. And then we had another pop, just like we've seen here. And then we have a pullback, just like we've seen here, right? So they're almost identical scenarios. So what I'll be watching here on Amazon is the failure to go lower, which has already happened technically, right? We have this previous support here at 131.50. Opposite to Nvidia, which was a failure to go higher, this is a failure to go lower. Amazon attempted to break that 131.15 low, Sellers stepped in. This was a full red candle at one point. Sellers were in control. Buyers stepped in and pushed it back up, creating that failure to go lower. So what I will be watching on Amazon is a retest of that 130, 150, 130 for a long position, or a break and hold above Friday's highs, right? So if you look at Friday's highs, it was a major resistance, right? We were pinned below it, pinned below it, pinned below it, ever since we got back below it, right? So I'll be watching for a break and hold, right? So nice break and hold above 133.85 to go long on Amazon for a move back into 137, and then, excuse me, I don't know why I have this don't have this marked, 137, 138, right? You guys can see up here, this is a big supply. So Amazon, we're watching that 133.8 break and hold to go long into 137, 138, or we're watching that pull back into lows. Now, check this out, you guys. Amazon's going to have a lot of value no matter what, right? Long as Amazon moves, it's going to have value, right? I do like Amazon short, right? If we break this massive uptrend we've been holding and we get below Friday's lows at 130, I will be comfortable shorting Amazon, right? So if we can get a clean break and hold of this big daily downtrend, this daily trendline support, and this 130 level, I will be comfortable going short on Amazon. We have nothing but room down into this hourly structure, this huge demand here at 126.40, 126, right? So that's what we'll be watching on Amazon to the downside. It's going to have value. As long as it moves, we'll be good to go, right? Amazon, for those who don't know, I see someone commented, Amazon is no longer 3K a share, right? Its stock split a long time ago, so the option contracts are not 3K a piece anymore. It's actually very friendly for smaller accounts now. No, a call on Amazon at the money is like $100, $150 for a weekly contract. It's not 3K. 3K would be for a leap, like 2 years out at the money, right? Amazon contracts, doesn't matter what's the call or put, they're very small account friendly. They're anywhere from $100 to $200 at the money. We're talking about, say for example, Amazon's trading at 133. If you want to buy a 134 call tomorrow on Monday, at the money, like we're talking about, it's going to be like $1.50. So it's like $150. So it's not very expensive at all. It's very small account friendly. But yeah, that's what I'm watching on Amazon. Very simple setup. One of the stronger names that I like for the week ahead. And yeah, it looks very good. Disney, I do want to talk about. Disney, on the other hand, has been a very, very weak name, right? If you look at this chart here at Disney, we cleared a major, major daily structure, right? If we look at this chart here, there's actually a continuation. I got a Cash App. I got a $50 Cash App for whoever gets this right. There is a continuation pattern here on this daily chart within these two candlesticks that hasn't formed yet. We're waiting for one more. What is it called? You have one attempt, 30 seconds, go. First person who gets it right, $50. You got 30 seconds. Let's see who gets it right. Time is approaching. Oh, someone got it right. Nicholas Hahn. My man got it right. This is a 3-bar play, right? This is a continuation setup, right? We have the first bar here, which was the breakdown. We have the pause bar, which is 2. The 3-bar would be the actual continuation bar. Be good to go. 3-bar play, right? Or essentially a drop-based drop, right? First person to say a drop-based drop, I'll give you 25 as well. So let's see here. Okay, so first person was Nicholas Hahn. He said a 3-bar. Drop base is actually a correct answer as well. McKenna, one of my mentees. Awesome. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Alright, so, and I'm going to show you guys why this is a drop base. Right, so we're looking at the daily chart now. So each one of these candlesticks represents 1 day's of price action. But if you go down to the hourly, it's going to look like a drop base, right? If you look at this here, and how did I know that? Was because, obviously, just through experience. I know what a bull flag looks like on a higher time frame, a bear flag. I know what everything looks like, right? Just through experience. But the reason it's a drop base is because we have this pause bar, right? So if you see a candlestick similar to this, whether it's inverted to the upside, this will be a rally base or a drop base. Reason being is because this little daily candle, right? This is a daily. If you break it down on the hourly, it's going to be a day's worth of price action. And that just means, right? So when you see these indecision candles like this, that just means it's back and forth, right? We had a high of the day, right? Check this out. So I'm going to give you guys some free game. So we had a high of the day, we had a low of the day, and we closed in the middle. So that means we have a range top range, bottom range, close in the middle. That forms a base, right? And that's how we get that drop base on the lower time frame, right? For those who don't know what a drop base is, that is when we have a drop, and then we form a nice little base afterwards. And this is actually a continuation or a reversal setup, right? A drop base drop is a form of continuation, so it would have to break 82.30, which is what I'm watching, right? So that's one of the top watches here. Break and hold below 82.30. Disney has nothing but room down in the 80s, so that's my top short watch. But in the case Disney got strong, we would have a drop base rally if it broke above the top of this base, which is okay because I'm watching for a push back into this 85, 85.50 for a reject. As you guys can see here, this is a major, major, major support that was broken and is now resistance, right? So that's what I'm watching on Disney. Congratulations to Nicholas and McKenna. Let me go ahead and write your names down real quick. Congrats to you guys. Let me write this down real quick. We have McKenna. We have Nicholas. I'm going to get into the Patreon announcement in a couple seconds, okay? Let me finish this watch list real quick. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got here. Anybody got any questions so far? Anybody got any questions? Something I looked at, a level, setup, could be about trading, entrepreneurship, whatever it is. Do not hesitate to ask a question. No question's a dumb question. I got muted for 3 days, Dabo. I don't know why. They're fucking weirdos, to be honest. Weirdos. Apple, we'll check out Apple in a moment. Got two more stocks I want to look at here real quick. XPev, this is a great small account name. I wanted to make sure I covered the small accounts for the week ahead, and I love XPev, right? So if you look at XPev here, specifically on the 4 hour, we have a beautiful, beautiful level here, right? You guys can see here, we have a very strong structure that was broken on Friday at this 17 level. This was a major resistance that is broken, and now it's support, right? So what we can watch here is we can watch a retest of 17 for a bounce, or we can watch for a break and hold above 18 to go long on XPev. We have nothing but room into 19 and 20. This is a great small account setup, all right? Great small account setup. Watch the 17 bounce on XPev or a break and hold above this hourly structure at 18. This looks absolutely beautiful. You guys can see here this 18 level is very significant. So make sure you wait for it to confirm from resistance to support before making an entry. We have nothing but room in the 19 and 20. All right. One last one is CAT. This is actually a swing setup I'm watching for the week ahead. As always, you guys know I like to post swings if there is opportunity. I like this a lot. This is beautiful. CAT is currently at all-time highs, right? Trading at all-time highs. If you look at this weekly chart, absolutely fucking beautiful, guys. Beautiful. This is an A+ swing setup in my opinion, right? If you look here, we have a retracement from swing low to swing high. We're currently sitting at the 236 retracement. That's one confluence. The second confluence is we're sitting at a major structure and demand, right? This is previous all-time resistance, all-time high resistance at 266. So this is essentially a macro break and retest. Resistance, resistance, turn support. Not only that, we're forming a bull flag. Someone want to tell me what a bull flag gives us insight on? What does a bull flag give us insight on? Where you at? Someone help me out here. What does a bull flag give us insight on? This is my top swing watch. I absolutely love CAT for a potential swing. As you can see here, this is a macro break and retest of this daily all-time high resistance. Broken, turn to support, beautiful bull flag, sitting on the 236 retracement. Perfect, Nicholas. This is a continuation pattern, right? A bull flag is a continuation pattern. You have the flagpole, you have the consolidation, which is potential insight at a continuation setup, right? So this is my top watch for a swing, right? What I'll be watching here, the levels I'll be watching, let's break this down on a lower time frame. is I'll be watching two things, right? One, I'll be watching a pullback into 267, 266 for a bounce, right? So we pull back to 266, 267. I'll be watching for a bounce here with the stop loss below 265, right? So with CAT, this is what I plan on doing, right? 2-6. Here, let me write this out for you guys so everybody can see it. 266, 267 bounce slash swing. Stop loss below 265. That is what I'm watching here on CAT, right? That's one thing I'm watching. Second is I'm watching a break and hold above 275. So say, for example, CAT does not pull back, right? CAT, as you can see here, this 275 level is very significant. Previous support, turn to resistance, 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 resistance. Now it's pinned below it, right? So if CAT doesn't pull back, what I'll be watching is a break and hold above 275 for that swing position and even a day trade, right? So for one, I'll day trade this on weekly contracts. If we get the break and hold above 275, I'll trade this on weekly contracts. But I'll also grab further out contracts on the break and hold so I can do two things. One is I can trim my weekly contracts on the way up, and I can hold my further out contracts for my swing and as runners, right? So I'm watching two things here on CAT, right? I'm watching the 266, 267 bounce with the stop loss below 265, and I'm also watching the break and hold above 260, 275 to go long. This is my favorite long setup for the week ahead. All right, so that is what I'm watching on CAT. And I will, if I can, I will post when I enter the swing for you guys. All right, I will be 100% transparent with you guys and post. Let me see. Yeah, Dabo, I didn't even know that, to be honest, man. The fucking mods there are super weird. Yeah, I'm not on .com though, because it won't let me in without the level 2 verification. I am up overall, right? I do have a live login on my YouTube. If you would go like to look at my last video on YouTube, I'm up a little bit over 360K on the year. I had my biggest month last month. I made 43K in one day on CRM. And that was a trade I called for everybody. I posted a swing on my Instagram. I posted a swing for my minties. I posted a swing for everyone. Yeah, it was a 600% trade on CRM. That was my biggest my biggest trade ever. But yeah, I posted a live login last time. I logged into my brokerage live on YouTube. Yeah, CAT looks very good. I absolutely love CAT. We have that, we have this bull flag on the weekly, retesting this previous all-time high resistance. It's absolutely beautiful. My biggest trade was CRM. That was a swing trade last month, and I made 43K in one night. Well, from one day to the next. I woke up the next morning and I made 43K. The most I've ever made in one trade in terms of a day trade was like 22K, something like that. I had a 15K trade a little while ago on SPX. I've had countless 5, 10K days, 15K days. My biggest trade ever though was CRM. J Miami. Yes, I'm gonna do thanks for reminding me. I'm gonna do a separate one for selling options. I did promise you guys I would do like a little mini course, and I'm still gonna do that. You guys have my word. I am going to do like a mini course on that. On selling options. I give you guys my word. On running the wheel and stuff like that. Yeah, I did see that, Willie. But yeah, that's what I'm watching for the week ahead. We've covered ES, NQ, QQQ, SPY, AMD, Nvidia, Amazon, Disney, XPev, and CAT. We've covered an absolute ton. Now I want to get into the Patreon stuff. Sorry for making you guys wait so long. If you guys were here just for that, I apologize. And I do want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys. Seriously, every single person that tuned in tonight, I just want to say thank you for your time, taking time out of your Sunday to come kick it. I hope you got some value from this. It's not over. right? It's not over. I just want to say thank you to you guys for taking time. If you did enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button. If you really want to show love, tag me on Instagram. I'll be more than happy to repost it. And yeah, let's get into the Patreon stuff here. I know a lot of you guys are probably tuned in for that. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna take a drink of water. Hopefully I don't choke to death like I did in the beginning. And yeah, man, let's get it. Alrighty, so the Patreon, right? What's gonna be going on is well, so I said the bad news first, right? The bad news first is the Patreon's gonna be gone, right? That's gonna be very, very soon. There will be no more Patreon. That is the bad news. There will be no more Patreon, but I will be moving to essentially another platform. Right? As you guys know now, I do not live trade in the Patreon. I do not post signals in the Patreon. Patreon's just an educational platform where I share my knowledge, my experience, and my trading content with you guys, right? It's absolutely incredibly full of value, right? Like literally for less than $1 a day, you can literally become a consistently profitable trader from the content that I provide. That content's still going to be available. Everything in the Patreon is still going to be available, just on a different platform, right? In terms of trading though, right? If you would like access to my live trading along with Brett and other great traders as well, including signals, live trading, classes and stuff like that, I've already been in Honey Drip for a long time, so it made sense, right? So that's what's going to be happening, right? So there's going to be two things going on. There's going to be three things going on. The first one is, yes, the Patreon is going to be removed. I'm honestly not too upset about it because the platform itself, Patreon, there's nothing really good about it, right? There's no spot for us to communicate. I had to create a separate group. There's no spot for me to post like actual content or anything like that. So, I'm not too mad about moving from Patreon. It was a decision I've been thinking about for a long time. There's no real good, solid foundation on Patreon. It's just whatever, right? But, so I will be removing it and I'll be moving, right? So I'm not stopping whatsoever. I'm just moving, right? That's it. So I know some people might be a little upset about it. It's annoying. It's an inconvenience. I made sure the move was beneficial to not only me but you guys as well, because you guys, ultimately this is what I'm doing it for. Don't get me wrong, yes, there is monetary compensation on my end, but at the end of the day, this is value that I'm providing for you guys. This is my name first and foremost. Anything that I do, I like to give it 110% because this is my name, right? I don't want my name to have a bad reputation. This is why it's been so long for me to make this decision. And no, you don't need to cancel your subscription. I will cancel it manually for you. So within the next day or so, you'll be receiving a DM from me. Every single buddy that's ever been in the page, even if you canceled 2 months ago, you'll be receiving a message from me stating what is going on, where it's going on at, and what it entails, right? If you're a mentee, you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Absolutely nothing. Right, you're lifelong locked in. Even if you're in the Patreon, you have nothing to worry about. We're just moving platforms. That's it, right? Also, with the new platform, we will have live trading. You'll be able to listen to me live trading every single day. Well, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. You'll have direct access to my signals, Brett signals, Aristotle signals, everybody's signals, right? So there'll be a lot more to it. It will be a little increase in price, right? Obviously, that's Aristotle's platform, so that's him. But I will have my own little portion, right? That is what we've came to agreement on. And it just made sense. I feel like right now with the Patreon, it's just not efficient for me or for you guys in terms of communication, right? So the new platform that we're using is going to be a lot easier in terms of communication. It's going to be a lot easier for us to, for me to provide value for you guys on a daily basis, right? So it's going to be pretty cool, right? I know some people are probably excited about it. I know some people are probably a little upset about it. It's all good, right? I will make sure that I get a discount code for you guys. That will be very dope. And yeah, so that's what's going on. It's going to be happening very soon. For any, like I stated, even if you canceled the Patreon 2 months ago, you will receive a DM from me. So make sure everybody checks their Patreon messages within the next couple days. Probably either tomorrow or the next day. No later than Wednesday, everybody will receive a message, right? I do also want to say this. If you are not interested in moving with me, that is completely fine. right? And just say, for example, you want to follow solely what I'm doing. That is fine. My Instagram subscriptions will be open. That is where I will have the Google Drive labeled, so you'll have, lifetime access to that through the Instagram subscription. That will always be available. So if you just want access to the Google Drive, you don't really care about live trading, you don't really care about anything else, that's fine, right? But if you're interested in live trading, you're interested in the value that's provided, the resources that are provided in the community, that will be available as well. So you'll have options, right? Right, that'll be, no, Miz, the Hangout is still there. That's a free Hangout on my Instagram. That's not going anywhere. But yeah, that's what that's what will be going on, and yeah, and like I said, everybody will receive details by Wednesday. We'll just say Wednesday, of what's going on. I don't like putting details out unless it's concrete, right? I don't know a price at the specific moment. I don't know, the exact date. I can give you guys a timeline, but exactly speech, I don't know at the specific moment. I'm going to do my best to either make it lower or right around that same price point. But yeah, that's the news. That's the announcement. I know some people are probably upset about it. Some people might be happy about it. And yeah, so yeah. Jordan, nothing's changing with that. That will still be available. But yeah, so there'll be two options for you guys. You guys can go with the live trading, the signals, everything like that. Or if you just want, direct access to me, my Instagram is always open in terms of subscriptions, which I'll be announcing very soon as well. So essentially, I'm just moving from Patreon to Honey Drip and Instagram. That's it. So Instagram will be available, and of course, Honey Drip. Honey Drip's where obviously the live trading will entail, the signals will entail, and you'll have access to Brett, Aristotle, absolutely everybody like that. And of course, if you want direct access to me, that'll be straight through Instagram, but there will be no, obviously, live trading or signals there. I mean, I do post like free signals once in a while, but on a day-to-day basis, consistent basis, Honey Drip is the only place that I've ever posted signals or live traded. So, but yeah. But yeah. Rusty Ray, you have nothing to worry about. If you're not, yeah, mentees, you'll have nothing to worry about. You don't need, the DM is not, none of this is relevant to you, excuse me. If you applied for the mentorship, right, I'll post a link for you guys. It will be opening back up very, 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 very soon. I'm going to be doing things a little bit different this time. So if you're interested in that, here's the link for you guys. I highly encourage you guys fill it out now. It takes 2 minutes of your time. And if you're interested in the mentorship, I just posted the link. It is pinned at the top. You can go to my website, which is felonytrades.co. All the information you need is located there. Takes 2 seconds. All I ask is you be honest and transparent on the form. I go through every single one. I read them. I read what are your goals. I read when you tell me about yourself. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, 410 clouds. That's my objective. Like I said, y'all's best interest is my focus, right? I'm not gonna sit here and, make a bad decision for myself or you guys, right? That's not what I'm gonna do. It will not be a significant price increase. My focus is a price decrease, right? That's not really my goal is to, make it more expensive at all. That's not. Like I said, it's essentially going to be the Patreon just in a different spot. That's it. That's all it is. Right? There's no, except the Patreon plus more. That'll be it. You'll have access to live trading. You'll have access to everything like that. So that's the only thing. That's not my goal is to make it more expensive or anything like that. My goal is to provide as much value as possible, consistently as possible. That's it. Tesla, we can check out real quick. In honest opinion, how do you guys feel? Me personally, like I said, my personal opinion, if you want to talk about outside of just switching, I don't like Patreon. That is my honest opinion. I don't have nothing wrong with them, like the actual company, but I do not like their site in terms of a creator. It's not efficient. They don't have the proper tools. It can be a lot better, right? It can be a lot better. I had multiple platforms reach out to me. I don't want to name them. Well, I can name one of them, which is WAP, but the other two that reached out to me, they weren't up to date, right? The other one was, but you know, to me, it has to make sense, right? This is something I thought about for more than a year, right? An opportunity was presented to me a year ago, and it actually would have made me more money if I would have took it a year ago, but that wasn't what it's all about to me, right? I want to be happy with what I'm doing. I want to be happy with where I'm doing it at. My peace of mind is worth more than money, right? I can promise you that. Always, the free Sundays aren't going anywhere. I will do these as long as I'm breathing, right? I promise you that. There's nothing changing. Nothing. Sundays and Fridays, you can guarantee you're getting a live from Felony. Yeah. So that is my focus as well. Like I said, my best interest is your guys' best interest. Colby, I'm trying to limit that, right? I don't want this and that and this and that. I don't. You know. The Google Drive's not going anywhere. So right now I do have, as you guys know, a Google Drive. What I'm doing is everybody that has an active subscription in terms of the Google Drive, you will keep that, right? But I have reorganized it already. I'm gonna post a new link before the Patreon ends, so everybody will have it, right? Mentees, you guys have nothing to worry about. But for the Patreon, those are concerned about the Google Drive, you will actually get a new and improved and updated Google Drive. So everything will be new. There's multiple new videos in it. So nothing's changing that aspect. It's only getting upgraded, right? Think of it as like an upgrade. What I've presented to you guys and what I've announced tonight is an upgrade, right? We're not taking steps back. We don't do that. We only go forward. That's it. We only go forward. That's it. It doesn't make sense for you guys. Doesn't make sense for me. SQ, let's check it out. Oh, I was supposed to go over Tesla. Give me 1 second. Tesla. Oh, we'll go over SQ first. SQ. This is a beautiful chart. I thought I had this on my watch list. I might not have. But anyway, SQ. I love this for the week ahead as well. Right now, we're sitting at a big daily structure. As you guys can see here, this is a major support at this 55 level, right? This is held for some time. So the game plan with SQ would be two things, right? One would be a failure of this 55 level. So if we came down to 55, just like we showed on Nvidia, just like we showed on Meta, right? That is what we'd be watching, right? So we'd be watching a failure of this 55. We could start to form a little base. We could look for a long position off of it. But the main watch would be a clean break and hold below 55, right? So if we get a clean break and hold below 55, we can go short on SQ. Very high probability if we can hold below 55. This fucker should see lights out. We have nothing but room on SQ down into 51, 40, and 50. It is a lights out move. So this is something I would definitely keep on your watch. I encourage you guys to do the same thing that I did. Put a level at 55, add alert, crossing down. When you get alerted, go check it out. Boom. Vanessa, I can say confidently, your wishes will come true. Or your hopes. Your hopes. I appreciate that too. All love, Vanessa. I appreciate all of you guys, man. Everybody who's rode with me since the beginning, or even if you just started riding with me, man. I do my best to give back. If there's anything I can do to show more love to you guys, please let me know. Everybody that knows me or met me in person or just knows about me, man, I'm selfless, man. Anything I can do, I'll be more than happy to do. I promise you, that is my focus. I wish I had someone like me when I was coming up in terms of trading. Everybody wanted to close the door in your face. Nobody wanted to help you. They wanted to sell you everything. That's not my goal. Like the Patreon, what I've provided in the Patreon for literally less than $1 a day is absolutely absurd. The same thing I provided in the Patreon is what people are charging thousands of dollars for a mentorship. I promise you. Right or wrong, for those of you guys that have been in the Patreon, right? For those of you guys who've seen the Google Drive, the value that is provided there, people will literally, right now, your favorite guru will charge you thousands for that information. Or some of the stuff that I cover on this live here for free, right? And that's not even my mentorship. My mentorship is absolutely fucking next level. I promise you. I promise you. Sweet 5695. Just hold tight. Details will be coming out very, very soon. Very, very soon. That's what, Anthony, I'm all for it, man. It'll be a big one. I appreciate that, Eve. I do. I appreciate that, y'all. Appreciate that. But yeah, let's go ahead and call it a night here, man. Hopefully you guys are riding with me. If I upset some people, I apologize. Just to summarize what I talked about tonight in terms of the Patreon is we're not downgrading, we're upgrading. We're not quitting, we're just moving, right? Nothing's changing, we're just moving. That's it. Right? So no big deal there. Like I stated, every single buddy will receive a DM. I also will be posting about it publicly. I'll be posting the links, I'll be posting the discount code, I'll be posting full details about what is happening, concrete links, okay? So I'll be posting concrete everything for you guys, and you guys can make the decision whether, you know, that's up to you guys. I highly encourage you do. If you guys want to take your trading to the next level, you're in the right place. I promise you that. Right? Change is good. You know, I'm not a fan of change, but sometimes it's what's necessary. Sometimes it's necessary. But yeah, guys. Once again, thank you to each and every one of you guys for taking time out of your Sunday to come kick it with me. I really appreciate your time. Hope you guys got some value from this, and if you did, please make sure to hit that like button. I really appreciate it. If you really want to show love, tag me on Instagram. If you ever need anything, feel free to reach out via DM. Like I stated, details will be coming out very soon. Wonderful live tonight. Just to recap what we covered on the live. Economic data, Wednesday and Friday are the most important. GDP, PMI, and ISM. And then, of course, we've covered an absolute ton tonight. ES, NQ, AMD, Nvidia, SPY, QQQ, Amazon, Disney, XPev, Square, and our top swing watch, which is CAT. Alright? And also remember, guys, your best interest is my interest. Love all you guys, man. Y'all have a great night. Let's have a great trading week ahead. Y'all stay safe. Good night, y'all. Peace.